Alright folks, welcome to another live Q&A here on Call Winning at Rangers TV. I'm your host Ben and I'll be here for the next hour alongside our left back, Chris McGowan. Chris, how you doing?
Alright, what's happening? I'm doing alright. How are you, Ben?
Yeah, I can't complain. Lockdown is still kind of, it's going to get a bit more relaxed now, isn't it? It's getting a bit more, you can do a bit more things. I quite enjoy the lockdown. Suits my lifestyle. So what about yourself? How's your lockdown been?
It's been not too bad. It's obviously it's not that good for nobody able to go out and do things and things like that. But I got myself a job at Domino's during it, like just delivering pizzas and that, just so I could get out of the house when obviously have a reason, obviously. So
Yeah.
I was just doing that, but I'm back on my actual job and that now. So as you say, it's starting to ease up, but it's been alright. Not the worst.
So how have you found not having football? How's that been for you?
It's been terrible. It's obviously everybody's missing football with the lockdown and that, but even before that for me, because I was November or something the last time I played, so obviously everybody stopped in March, but I was already injured since before the turn of the year, so it's been even longer for me and just learning to get back, but just in due time, isn't it?
That's it. We're all hopeful. I think I've said this a few times already, but the only two things I miss is football on a Saturday and restaurants. I quite like to go to a restaurant to eat out, but beyond that, football's the only other thing I really, really miss. Kind of week in, week out, because it's that normality, isn't it? You know, you have your working week and you get to Saturday and it's like match day and stuff, and it's always a good fun, even from the sidelines as a fan and kind of watching. It's just good to have, and but yeah, imagine for anyone who's a player, that must be a nightmare to not have kind of week in, week out. You mentioned your injury. Obviously, you done yourself pretty bad, and was it November? Was it you broke your leg?
I think it was actually the end of October that I broke it, but obviously I got missed diagnosed and I played a few games, but my last game was Largs away, and I think it was the end of November. It might have been the very 1st of December, but I think it was the end of November. And since then, it's obviously I've been out injured, and then I was hoping to maybe make the end of the season.
Yeah.
Just if I could maybe even come back training for the end of that, but obviously with lockdown happening and that, I've not even trained in how long, so it's been tough, but I think the worst days are over. Like, you see when I was in the crutches and things, couldn't even drive and that, it was hard going obviously, and having to even watching the games, it's good. You take that, I'd take watching them now because obviously lockdown, but
absolutely
at the time it's you don't want to watch games, you want to be playing on a Saturday, you don't want to go down and have to watch games, but just even life in general, because of my crutches and things like that, it was just rubbish. But the fact obviously I can now run and things like that and hopefully kick a ball still. But that's all. Just looking forward to getting back now.
Well, that's it. I think me and you used to meet in a dugout, but just about every game up until about it. Because I'd always been out to check out with the team and stuff like that in the warm up, and you'd be sitting in the dugout, and others come down. We'd always have a catch up in the dugout. So, so even then you've been back. So you've been back, kind of been able to run. How have you found that? Kind of getting back into shape and get fit again?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm quite in shape yet. I'm still no great. But
those free Domino's pizzas.
I know. End of the night, you get a pound pizza. You can't say no to that.
Oh, jeez, that's a nightmare,
yeah. No, so I've found it all right. As of what you can do, I've done a few runs. I don't really like road running, to be fair. It hurts my joints as it is. Never mind, obviously, coming back to injuries. So I've been down to Greenwood. It's just like what the local Astro and things like that. But there's grass next to it as well. I've just been doing a few runs there and that, and been trying to do the dual wicks, like high intensity workout things. Just some of them, just to keep me going. But obviously, as of what I've done, running and things like that so far, it seems to be healed, hopefully. So,
Good old Joe
touch
Wicks.
wood on
He's a handsome boy, isn't he? He's got a great head of hair. That I'm jealous of that hair. I must admit.
he's doing all right. To be fair to him, he's doing all right.
I've got this lockdown hair thing going on. It's getting a bit messy, and the beard's I call it the caveman beard now. But Joe Wicks, we don't want to have hair like his. If we could have hair like Joe Wicks, we'd be pretty happy. But if anyone's got any questions for Chris, drop them in the comments, or either on YouTube or Facebook or on Twitter. Let's see if I've got any so far. I think we had one pre-prepared question from a fan earlier on, so I'll just double check. Yeah, onwards and upwards on Twitter. That's Jim Johnson. He's asking, you've also played at centre half in your time. What would you say your preferred position is? Is it left back, or do you like playing centre back? Or
I don't mind either of them. They've got their pros and cons, I guess. Like, I like playing centre half and that because I like to get kind of in about it, and you have actually got like a battle, because goal kicks and all that are constantly coming against you, and you're playing against like your striker. And I know obviously at full back you've got your winger, but sometimes like you'll get help for your left mid and that. So, but the fact playing centre half means you can't go forward, and know that I was going forward very much then, but I would like to obviously advance forward more when you're obviously playing full back, so get a few goals and things maybe. So just we're there, but I don't mind either, wherever, as long as I'm on the park.
As long as you're playing in the squad. Did you play centre mid in one of the games this season? Was it Ardea? Did you play? No.
No, I don't think I played centre mid. I scored twice that game, but
I remember you scoring an absolute zinger, and that's something I think you scored. Was that because you're playing?
No, it was fair corner. I was.
Oh, right, okay. Right. That makes sense. I thought maybe you're playing. You'd been moved into centre mid.
I'd played centre mid previous when I was at the 20s, but no with the buffs or nothing.
Actually, I think when if you play Football Manager, it tells you that you're a left mid, you're a left wing back, or a centre mid, and I've noticed that I've played a few times now. Football Manager as the buffs. And you always seem to go tournament Football Manager. You always seem to get the one player that everyone wants to buy on Football Manager. But the thing is, they come in with money, and they always bid actual money for you. It's weird. No other player gets a bid in Football Manager. It's weird.
Well, we obviously know what they're talking about then.
I sold you to Wraith Rovers for $6,000 a few years ago.
That's all right.
It's like $6,000. Can't knock that back. You know what I mean?
No. I hope I got some of the signing on fee for that.
I'm not sure. You definitely ended up in more wages, because I tried to get your loan back the next season, and they were asking too much wages. I was like, nah, too much. Can't afford. Can't break the budget here. Unfortunately, I quite enjoy playing Football Manager as a buff. It's a good wee challenge. It's always
it's quite a good thing that they've got the juniors and that in it now.
Yeah.
I used to play it on my phone. Obviously, everybody I know now that plays it on the PC and that, and it's a lot better because you can do more things. But
it's mad,
I can't get into it because you need to do more things. I just like picking my team and watching the wee ball guys running about.
I play the phone game sometimes, and I must admit it's much easier. You can play about a season in about 2 hours or something. Whereas in the computer, it takes me about a week or two to play a season. So let's go back now to your career, Chris. Just tell us a bit about your career leading up to joining the Buffs.
Well, when I was younger, I played with my boys' club. It was Girdle Toll. I played the year above me. I don't know why that was, but my cousin and that played the year above, so I think it maybe was that. So I played there for maybe 2 or 3 years, I think. And then when I was 9 or 10, I went to Kilmarnock, and I was there from 10 right up to 16 or something like that. So I was there for a while anyway. And
who was in your Kilmarnock team? Sorry, just to interrupt.
Well, Davy Simon, that was the year above me, so maybe a few boys for there that you'll know if they're playing around the juniors, like Sam Liddington and Jack Whittaker, things like that. But for my year, I'm not actually sure a few boys that have played, but Adam Frizzell, you're a Kelly fan, aren't you? You know him. I played with him. He's obviously still at Kelly. He's not quite broke through yet, but he was a good player even back then. But a lot of the boys have moved away and maybe playing amateurs and that, so there wasn't too many for my age group that I could think of.
What age would Greg Kilty be? Would he be kind of around about your age?
He was Davy Symes' age.
Oh, was he in Symes? Yeah, was he part of the? What did they call? There was something they called it. Kenny's Goslings or something like that. Wasn't it? It was Kenny. Kenny. What was his second name? Kenny.
What, the manager? Kenny Shields.
Kenny Shields. I can't believe I forgot that. And he had like so many young boys in that lineup. I'm sure.
That specific year, Davy Symes' year, there was a lot of boys. They were really good, to be fair. They were always competing with like your Celtic and Rangers.
Yeah.
So did we for a wee while, but that was like later on. But see, when you were younger and that, it was you could be in a cricket score against you half the time. But they were always good. They were always a good side.
And was that under Alan Robertson? Was he the coach?
When they were getting to 17s and things like that, he was there. Paul Wright, but even Wright, as in when when you go through the years, your manager always changed normally,
right?
As you went up the years, but just that their age group in general was a good age group. They always seem to do well.
I'm trying to think of any other boys. Was Adam Hodge? Would he be?
He was a year above, but Ian Wilson, who's playing.
Oh right, yeah. Still at Kelly, isn't he? He's still
at Kelly. Games or something.
Yeah. I think he was on loan last year, but I think he's back this year. So who else? Ennis Cameron, see?
I played with Ennis at Stranraer. He was a year below me.
Right, okay.
He's a good player as well.
So quite a squad. So then from Carmarthen, you went to.
I get released for Kelly when I was 17 or 16, and then I went to. Well, I was going to chuck it for a wee while just to kind of see what was happening, but I went and played with a boys' club called Cross House, but I only played 2 or 3 games, I think. And then one of my old Kelly managers, Mark Maley, was in it. Stranraer, he was, I don't know how he ended up there, but he ended up in there coaching the 20s. They never even had a 20s before this, but he was bringing it together and trying to get obviously some boys a move and that. So went in with him into the 20s, and it was good in there. We actually, when we first went, we were meant to be like the whipping boys as such, but we did all right. And then in my final year, I was kind of up and down with the first team, but we won the league, and then it got taken off as for an eligible player or whatever it was. But
really,
we actually did quite well. We got a good squad of boys there. So I was playing. That's when I started playing centre half and centre mid, and I was still sometimes playing left back. But see, I was also on a dual contract when I was at Stranraer, the 20s with Dalry Juniors.
Yep.
I was only 16, so I must have been 16 when I left Kelly. I was only 16. I went to Dalry, obviously I was playing with Dalry, who were all men, and it was a tough league down there. And then when I felt like when I came back to the 20s, I was like a man, even though I wasn't like massive or nothing, obviously, but I felt like I was a man on the park. So it helped me. It really helped me that way. I think that's why I probably ended up playing centre half and that with the 20s, because you know how your football and that can be. Like, obviously, some technically good players, but see, before you kind of play real football as such, it's like you have it, we have it. Whoever's better at passing and moving, and so I felt like when I was playing with Dalry, I obviously had to grow up really quickly because I was playing it was the ADL, the Ayrshire District League, so there was some rough matches down there. So I had to kind of grow up as such, and when I came back playing with the 20s, that's when I kind of kicked on, I felt. So that did help.
So you played in that Stranraer team with Sam in your Stranraer team?
Sam McCluskey?
Yeah.
Just as I was breaking through, he'd played a few games, but he just left. But I never played in the same. I played with him with the 20s, but I never played with him in the first team.
Right, okay. So you just kind of followed him around then, aye? Just following Sam around, aye?
Sadly. Gone and taking his position.
So then obviously you came to the Buffs last season. That was your...
last season, yeah. After the 20s, I went into the first team and then ended up coming to the Buffs. And sadly, I only got to play, I don't know, 4 months or something, but hopefully get a full season after a season.
Scored a few zingers in your in your first 4 months. Certainly, did a few good goals, didn't he? Did a few. Sadly, not on camera. I don't think that's the only thing. None of them are recorded.
No, I think my mom somehow videoed the goal at RD. It wasn't obviously the good views and things, but you could see it enough if you look hard.
Yeah,
so
good.
It was all right that way.
Nice one. So, okay, I've got a question here from Lee Crichton. He said, good to have you back next season, Gowser. Looking forward to getting back play. Are you looking forward to getting back playing next season and playing in a new league setup? So, I guess
Aye. So pretty much, I'm buzzing to get back playing in general. With obviously the injury and thing, and then lockdown. But I'm looking forward to it as well, even more because of this new league, and now that you don't have a ceiling as such. Obviously, it's going to be hard to win the league and win the playoffs or whatever it is it's going to end up being that happens. But it's great that it's actually happening now, I guess. And as you can see with some of the other clubs as well, that it can attract better players down now, and then hopefully push them forward as a club. But I am looking forward to the new league in that. I think it was kind of needed as such, because there was a few teams, I know Talbot over the last few years were going good cup runs and that in the Scottish, and people were saying, obviously you never know if they went into the actual league, but people were saying that a lot of the top juniors could compete in League 1, League 2, so I guess we'll get to find out hopefully.
Well, that's it. I think you'll probably find that a lot of these kind of teams in the kind of lower half of League 2 have been protected by the kind of the lack of kind of relegation through the leagues, and now that's kind of going to be changing hopefully in the next few years. A lot of the West teams will be able to push into the Lowland League, and then that Lowland League will become really competitive, and then in turn the League 1, or sorry, League 2, then potentially even League 1 can become competitive, because you say there's teams out there like you say like your Talbots, Pollock, Clydebank, even ourselves, I think would be quite capable of playing against some of these lower half kind of League 2 teams, and certainly give them a game. You look at Darvel, you just mentioned there about teams who are having players that are kind of more attracted to come to them. Darvel have done some interesting signings in that front, so they're obviously there to contend as well. So there's going to be next season's league's going to be interesting, I think, from that point of view. There's also the potential cups as well, where you're going to play against the East region teams as well. So that's going to be obviously quite exciting. Get some of these all kind of East versus West derbies that we've probably had in the cup. I think a lot of fans will have missed them over the years since that set up. So that'll be good for sure. All right, let's find out a bit more about yourself, Chris. So I'm going to ask you some random questions, shall we say? Don't think too much about them. Just answer short and sharp, and we'll find out a bit more about yourself. So the first question is, favourite player growing up?
Favourite player growing up? I think everybody that supported Celtic was Henrik Larsson, which is high up. But I also like Bobo Baldi. I don't know what it was. I had stickers, posters and that of him and Larsson, and I don't know. It's just because it was just like a big king. Bobo's going to get you, you know. So
solid player, absolutely solid.
Hero. He was a hero.
What did you want to be growing up if it wasn't a football player?
Honestly, I don't know. I still don't know. But probably something to do with football or sports anyway.
Yeah. Maybe. What's your favourite takeaway? I guess that's Domino's.
No, definitely not. It's good. Domino's is good, but takeaway, does that include restaurants like Nando's and that? Is that?
I'll give you Nando's. I'll give you Nando's.
Because I don't mind the Chinese and things like that, but Nando's is especially I'm missing it now, but that's the go-to.
All right, we'll lead on to the next question then. What's how hot is your Nando's hot sauce?
Medium. I went hot once and couldn't handle it, so
drank a pint of milk later.
I'll just be sticking to medium.
Burgers or pizza?
Pizza.
Okay, go burgers there, personally. Favourite actor or actress?
Well, it's in my head now is Will Smith, because everybody seems to say him in their own. I've seen a few of them and everybody says Will Smith, but I'm going to go with Adam Sandler. He was always the one I watched when I was
great choice. What's your favourite Adam Sandler film then?
Oh, there's millions of them. The grown-ups and that ones are good now, obviously when you're older, but when we were younger, we watched things like Mr. Deeds and Happy Gilmore's always a go-to.
Big Daddy surely is the best one.
Oh, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy's the best Adam Sandler film all day. Happy Gilmore's is good, but Big Daddy's tremendous. It's my favourite. Biggest fear?
Spiders, probably.
That's
No, I'm not a fan.
Nah, bogging.
See, I can kill them if I need to, but if my dad that's in the house,
It's funny. When I lived at home, I was like that. I didn't touch spiders at all. But moved out 5 years ago, live with the wife. I just got to deal with them now because she's the same. She's scared of them. I've just had to man up and just deal with the spiders when I have to. Next one, dream car.
Beamer, something like that. Like
any particular kind, or just a random BMW, 1 Series
X5.
Or something? X5. Okay. Nice. I like an M3. If I could get any BMW, an M3 would be. That's my dream car for sure.
Aye.
Adidas or Nike?
Nike probably, but I don't mind wearing either. It's
what about you
wear? I've had a few Nike. I had Nikes, but that season there I wore Adidas. Still got them, but I don't know. I think I probably wear Adidas boots now. I always wore Nike growing up, like the CTRs and that, like Fabregas wore. But I think they see with the socks and that. I don't like the Nike ones with socks. So the higher up Adidas ones.
Do the cutting with the socks? You get your socks cut? No.
I hate that.
That seems like a new craze. That's a weird new craze, isn't it? That seems to be the cut the socks.
They buy under socks for like 30 quid and then cut the socks cut the feet after other socks. And you go right through. I don't know how folk do it. I don't know why. I can't wear tape on it neither. It feels like it just cuts off the circulation. I don't know why folk do that.
It's funny. I remember Willie Gibson played for Kilmarnock in Queens.
I played with him. Yeah.
Oh, did you? But did he know? I think he wore boots that were like 2 or 3 sizes too big, and he wore like he'd wear like two or three pair of like thick socks because he preferred a bigger boot or something. I remember reading a thing when he was at Kilmarnock and thinking to myself, "That's really weird that you're like." I think he was like a size 7 or something, and he ended up wearing like a size 10 or something.
He must be Ali McGowan's idol then, because he's a size 6 or something and he wears a 12.
Does he? That's mad.
He's got flippers on. He skips the ball everywhere.
Why is that? Why would you? Ali McComb, if you're watching, get a comment and tell us, explain that one.
Probably because where he's fake.
Say no more. Say no more. Next question, Messi or Ronaldo?
It's always Ronaldo is. Messi's probably gonna go down as the best player, but it's Ronaldo for everybody. I think it has to be.
Messi
just because he cares. He's had to work, and I just feel like he's worked for it rather than been just kind of God's gift as such.
Naturally talented, Messi. Not a bad talent to get if that's where your talent went.
Yeah.
If I was half a player that Messi was, I'd be quite happy.
He's all right.
Favourite sport outside of football? I think I'm going to know what this answer is this already.
Basketball.
Thought it was going to be you're a big basketball. Who's your team? Again, I'm trying to remember. You told me before. LeBron.
It's just wherever LeBron goes. But it was the Warriors. But it was only because they were obviously Steph Curry and that. But I like watching it. I can't wait. That's coming back at the end of July. Actually,
that's right.
They're all going to play in Disneyland. But I don't know. I just always watch it. I just like watching it. I think because there's a lot of points and things. And I like the
quite
players,
fast, and it's fast-paced game, isn't it?
It's good. I like it.
I'm a Jimmy Butler fan. He's my he's my favourite player. I remember I went to New York and Vegas, was it 3 years ago maybe? And I was watching the kind of, because you know what it's like in America, they have their sports news channels are like all the time, and they're always like 5 or 6 channels dedicated to sports news. No, like here we've got Sky Sports News and that's it. And I was watching, so Jimmy Butler had just signed for Minnesota Timberwolves, and he basically somebody had been giving him abuse, I think either in the press or something before he signed. And he's like, "Oh, if Eddie's got anything to say about me, just say it to my face. Here's my number." So he put his phone number on the screen. and like said, just phone me if you want. And it was like, that's not his real number. Like,
Aye, no,
nah, it's not his real number. Aye, but wait till what happened. The boy who was sitting in the press conference phoned him literally as he was sitting in the room, and he confirmed it was his real number. And it was like, that's funny. I was like, that's
can't be his real number now.
Well, exactly. Yeah, everybody's going to have known his number by that point. But I remember seeing, I was like, that's pretty ballsy to be like, just come and tell me, just come and phone me up and tell me I'm not very good, rather than just slagging me off with the press. So, I was always impressed by Jimmy Butler, and ever since.
All the basketball guys are giant, no, aren't they?
Huge, yeah. They've got massive feet, tournament size. Ali McGowan, size 12s. They've got monsters. They've got something. I remember going to somewhere, and it was Shaquille O'Neal's. Oh, it was Madison Square Garden. They'd one of Shaquille O'Neal's trainers in the museum part of it. I think it was like a size 20, size 24 or something. Mad. Just think, I mean, I'm only 5'7". I've got size 12 feet, but I actually wear size 12 trainers. But this was at next level. I couldn't believe how big the Shaquille O'Neal shoes were. Something else. Right, let's see if we get any more questions. I'm sure we'll have the fan club in. Let's see. Ian Cashmore Jr., who was on last 2 weeks ago, is asking. He's asking how was your night on Saturday? I guess there must be a backstory to that. Will you ever be as good as your dad?
I don't really remember much, to be honest, about what he's asking.
So good night then, aye. Good night.
Aye. No, it was. I was out on a Friday. The pubs had obviously the beer gardens.
Yeah.
So I was out on a Friday, and then I had booked. It's called the Riverside. It was a hotel in Irvine. So they had I had that booked for when you could book it, previously. So that was on a Saturday. Luckily enough, I wasn't rough or nothing. So
did you meet Cashy there? Was that?
No. I went out with my pal, but maybe had one too many that night. So when I came home at 10 or something, I think he was over visiting, because obviously his pal's my dad.
Oh, right, yeah, okay, right.
And I went in the living room and I think I just thought a lot of the crap. But
fair enough. But
so
second question is,
I said I was better than my dad. So,
well, there we go.
I don't know.
Obviously, your dad, ex-Buffs player. You used to play for the Buffs as well.
Aye. He's a real gouser.
Is that where you got your kind of defensive traits from? Do you think that because your dad played in defence, you kind of followed in his footsteps, or was?
I don't actually know. I just see. I think even at 7-a-side, I don't know if it was like through school and that we had boys that played left mid and things. Obviously, 7s you only have we played a 2-3-1 or something. So MD was playing left mid. I would just play like the left side at the back, but you could go forward in that anyway because you were all wee guys. But I don't know. I just always just played there. I can't mind if I'm not playing at the defence. I quite like defending in that. To be honest, I like that. I don't know why, but I do.
It's funny you mentioned the 7-a-sides. You said you played a 2-3-1. That tells you how good my team was at 7-a-side. We didn't have a formation. We just had go in the park and play. There wasn't any formations made up in 7-a-side. I was the goalie, mind you, right now. But I just played for fun. I was never going to be a football player. I was better at badminton. Badminton was my sport. I
don't mind badminton. I quite like going and playing. I actually like pretty much every sport except for golf.
Oh, you don't like golf?
No, golf, man. Anybody that likes that is obviously the most boring guy ever. I hate golf. A lot of golfers in the team and all, and probably the worst sport. It's not even a sport, actually. It's just golf.
The boys in the team, they like the Benji and Sam, etc. They like that golf, don't they?
Even the gaffer now, I think he's joining in.
Oh, is he?
About it.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I used to play golf, but dislocated my shoulder about 5 years ago, and
playing golf.
No, unfortunately not. Nah, there's no very exciting story about the shoulder. I will not go into it. But I basically haven't played golf since because I can barely swing a club now. Lost the swing since 5 years ago, and I used to play quite often, every other weekend. Go golfing weekends with mates and stuff like that, but nah, forget it. Those days are over.
When I was younger, I went to the driving range. That's a bit, and I don't mind mini golf, going on the wee putting things, but
crazy
I don't know why anybody would. I don't know why. I just hate golf. Folk going round and takes ages, and not my game.
I must admit, I did enjoy it, but I can't. I've tried to play 9 holes, I think maybe about 2 years ago, and I think I got to hole 6, and I was like, basically couldn't move my arm. It was just like locked up. I was like, nah, forget this. Got a comment here from Rampant FM, who I know quite well. It's Chris from the Official Catch Up podcast. Rampant, welcome in. You are asking the question: LeBron, is he better than Jordan?
Oh well, everybody watching the Jordan documentary that came out there is obviously going to say he's the best, and obviously he's 6 rings and that out of 6 finals, and the stats don't lie, I guess. But I'm still over him anyway. Even though he's choked a few, but it's LeBron for me.
I've certainly watched that documentary, that last dance, is it?
You've not watched it?
No, I started watching it. It's been on the agenda for some time. I keep forgetting to.
It is really good, to be fair. It is really good.
I'm just waiting for the what do you call it? The Spurs All or Nothing to come out. That's going to be fun. If Rampant, you'll be watching. He's a big Spurs fan, so am I. But Spurs have been absolutely terrible since the restart. In fact, probably all season. Never mind the restart. So that's going to be an interesting watch with Jose. I don't know when it's coming out, but it should be, I think, fairly soon. So I'll add that to my list. I need to watch the Last Dance for sure. That's definitely one on the agenda. I'm just seeing myself in the camera. My sleeve is halfway up my arm. I was like, what's going on?
I don't even notice it.
Well, okay, I'm watching. I've got the video playing, and it's like slightly delayed. I just see it there. I was like, my God, that's terrible. Right, let's go on to your teammates. Let's find out a bit more about the teammates.
Right.
And so basically, some questions about your the boys in the dressing room. Whether it's the players themselves or the gaffer or coaches or whoever. So first question is worst dressed. Now I believe you've come in this as the answer a number of times. So get your own back here.
Obviously they must have obviously set something up and said say my name or something, because I don't know why. To be fair, right, I've came in to training a few times after work or things like that, and I don't care what I wear to training. Like, I'm not fussed. But I think because a few of the boys just wear the same gear all the time, because I'm the only one that doesn't. I think that's it. So I think that's where that comes from. But night suit and that, I think I'm second to none, to be honest. So
who's the worst?
Myself, there's a few up there. I to be honest, I would say Davy Syme, but just for some of his bold choices. But I also appreciate that sometimes, the fact that he doesn't care. So I wouldn't say him, but I don't really know.
Davy Syme's pink boots, they were something else then, weren't they?
I think he's a player.
Right, who you pick? You need to pick somebody, come on.
Pick somebody. I'll pick Stuart Wilson. I don't know why he gets it as well, but he's got a few questionable pink jackets and that, so he can have it. He can have the reign.
I've got a question for one of your teammates just come in on text there. I'll ask you at the end. It's quite a good one. Right, next question. Best trainer?
Best trainer? Was Frizo, I would say. I think Frizo in training was brilliant. So I would say Frizo.
Funniest?
Funniest in the whole dressing room is James Dean by a mile.
James Dean.
Player, I think I'll give it to Simon, maybe just because I'm pals with him. I'll give Simon.
James Dean's quite something else in a group chat, as well. He's something else in a group chat.
He's something else in general. He's something up with him, man. But he's hilarious. So,
who's the worst trainer?
I think Simon got that a few times, but I'm going with Gaz Fleming.
Okay.
No comment.
Who's the moriest?
That is Simon, 100%. It's not even a question. It's just 100%.
See, it's been between him and Alex. Seems to be the kind of regular ones in that one. Interesting. Who's the best player with the ball at his feet?
I would say between Carlo and Gaz for me, and I'll give it to Gaz because I think even in games and that, some of the times he's you get 2 and 3 guys, he gets out, and I'm like, fair play. So I think Gaz for me.
Who's the toughest?
I've heard a few Tommy Maitland shouts. Not having that. Not having that in the slightest. I'll give Ricky Hanvey toughest, and I think if Simon's watching, ask Simon why.
Ask Simon why you picked Ricky.
Aye, the bifter. Right.
Davey, why are we? Get a comment on the Facebook or on YouTube. Why are we picking? Why is the Gowser picking Ricky there? Let us know. Worst taste in music?
Well, to be fair, it's normally Alex or I think the gaffer maybe and Sam McCluskey is maybe the only ones that's been on the tune. So I don't really know what anybody else listens to, but some of the I don't mind the old songs as long as they're good. Like I quite like a few retro songs, and obviously with my dad being a similar era as like Straney and that, I would think some of his songs would be good, but he's more into like operatic and things like that. He's not got any dance moves. Aye, like, I don't even know operatic. I don't even know what it is. Like,
old school.
Old guys, but like slow singing and all that. No,
like at least Frank Sinatra and all that kind of stuff. Old crooners and things. Michael Bublé and all that kind of stuff.
I'm not having that. I'm not having that. Like, obviously, there's 80s and 90s, even the dance music, things like that, like the clublands and that. I can accept that, but not having
old school.
Try to get up for a game and that, and he's betting on Frank Sinatra.
How does Alex get on the DJ? How is he the DJ all the time?
Well, you know him, so he backs himself, to be fair. So I think he was giving it a big chat, and somebody just says, "Right, you can have it then." And he's been all right, to be fair. I quite like some of his songs. I think he's just got a playlist that you can't go wrong with. He doesn't throw in a weird one. He doesn't throw a curveball out there. So I think he's just trying to play safe, and maybe he will next season.
It's pretty much the same playlist every week, isn't it? Roughly, isn't it? Because I sometimes stand outside the dressing room at the end of the match, and you always hear the same kind of songs every match, depending on what obviously the score is. But some questionable stuff in there. I must admit, I'm a wee bit older right now, so I don't know that.
I don't mind the songs, but I think
the dance stuff.
He stays safe. I think he just stays safe. I don't know if he just try to get his. Maybe they can take it off him when he throws a bad one.
Who's the most skillful?
Probably Carlo. I'll give Carlo that.
Who's the
many technical geniuses in the team.
Who's the smartest?
I think Baz Fleeting gets it.
That's a regular shout, isn't it?
Yeah, because I don't actually know. I can't think of anybody really being smart. If I'm being honest,
Baz comes across as a clever guy. I must admit, I always think that Baz is quite clever. And on the flip side, then who's the thickest?
It's Calvin. It's Calvin. It's just a sticker one. Some of the stories, what he's done and said, and you wouldn't even think it was saying things to what he says, and it's just plain thickness. That is it. That's it.
Final question then. If you could pick any player from the opposition from last season, who would you pick to be in your team?
Pick any player from the opposition. I don't really know players, so it's gonna be folk that everybody says really, like your Liam
number 9 from
and things like that. Aye,
number 9 from this team or that team.
Aye, the boy. I don't know his name now. You might know his. Who did we beat 5-4? Rutherglen. Is it the winger for them, number 7? He scored as winger the first game. Well, I didn't play the second game, but
I wasn't at that game unfortunately, so I can't
remember. The 5-4 game. Well, I don't know that the boy that plays with them anyway in the wing probably just so that it's not just the same names of the team.
Yeah, fair enough. Jim Johnson's asking us here, best centre half, Tommy or Davey? Sign.
Out of them two?
Yeah.
It's a tough one, but I'm more pally with Davey. I'll give Davey it maybe because he's he has played higher and things. But Tommy's a good centre half and all, so can't fault him for it. He always gives his best. So
No, let's see if we got. Oh, I have the question from one of your teammates. Let's see. Another Mr. Monty himself. He's asking, "What's your goals for the season?" Firstly, and if you, what do you reckon? Would Alex be a better number 16 or a number 17?
goals of it, my goal of the season.
No, what's your goals for the season coming? So what's like your aspirations for the next season?
Well, one is play a full season. That's the main one. I've not played a full season. I don't know, since I was 15 or something. I've always did something. Obviously, I was carrying that injury before. Obviously, this one that ended up getting fixed. Hopefully, here with that operation. So I'm hoping that just to play a full season. That's the major one. Second one is to get a good start, so that you can go for that, and you never know where you go. But I would like to win something. Easier said than done, obviously. But with what I watched of his last season, what I played in, I know Talbot could have caught us and things, but we were top of the league. I think we were really disappointing in the cup. That was brutal. That was one of the worst experiences ever.
We forget about it. We forget about that. I mean, can sign that to history books and just forget about it.
It was one of the worst experiences ever. The fact that because we were doing so well in the league and that and all, it was an odd feeling. So I'd like to go and at least maybe try and get to semi-finals, finals of the cup, and try and obviously if we get there, win something, compete in the league. But for me personally, I'd like to actually score maybe 7 or 8 goals minimum. I fancy myself finishing in that. I don't know. I thought I was harshly portrayed in some of the boys' questions, but I can training in that. There's no many up there that could outscore me. That's all I'll say. So
do you fancy yourself in the free kicks?
I see, to be honest, if I'll give Carlo that because of the fact he's left-footed and all, it kind of kills me because you can't really take him off him when he scored a few and that. So, you know, if he's maybe not playing or something,
you'll be waiting for a free kick.
If he's maybe not playing or something, I don't mind hitting free kicks. I scored one with Stranraer, but Carlo's sitting 5 and 6 in every season and that. So you can't at least if I was right-footed, I could maybe when it's on the other side say, all right, I'll have this one. But the fact he's left-footed and all, I can't really say anything.
Well, but
I'll just take the penalties instead.
Yeah, fair enough. But Tommy might want to hit them though, because apparently he can hit a penalty.
Oh, jeez. I don't know what that is about. I think that was previous. I don't know.
What about Carlos' second question? Alex for number 16 or number 17? Do you think?
I don't know if he makes the bench. Just I would give him 16. You can have 16.
So he's 1 in for the bench. Maybe give the sub goalie a 17.
He can maybe come on the last 5 or something if we're winning.
Fair enough. Right, talking about players, then let's go on your 1 to 11. Let's go through that. We'll give it 15 minutes left here, so let's start then. Let's tell us your formation first and foremost.
Well, this was brutal. Obviously, I'd only found out I was going to do this today. I didn't see your message.
You get a wee bit harsh. I did feel a bit bad that you only get a few hours' notice.
I was working, so I couldn't even start it till about 5, and then I wrote a few names down, and I ended up with like 20 odd names, and then I was like, how can I cut this down? So if anybody doesn't get one, then I can only apologise. It's tough. Easy watching somebody else pick it, but tough when you actually have to pick it yourself.
So what's the formation then? What's the formation?
It's a 4-3-3 for me. I was going to have no fullbacks, but I'll go for a 4-3-3.
And what's the team kind of made up of? What kind of players make your team then?
Well, that's the thing. I've only 21, but I've played with a couple of teams. But I didn't. It feels like at the start when I was thinking of folk or who was decent in that, it was just Stranraer boys. But there's a wee mix in there, I'd say.
All right, so who's your goalie then?
My goalie's a guy, Cammy Belford. He was a Stranraer goalie when I was breaking through, and to be honest, I never knew him at the start, obviously, and he was on Sky Sports and things because he was like doing he fell one game, but he started doing press ups and things. So I was like, what the hell? He was quite big, right? So I thought, oh, he's not going to be great. And then see training and then playing with him, he's easily the best goalie I've seen. He's brilliant. He's for England. He's actually way back doing it. He was at Forest Green and that again.
Right.
I think he's had a good career. But what a goalie he was, nutter and all. What a nice guy after the park, but as every goalie is.
Got to be a bit mad, didn't you?
I used to, if you try to chip him with things in training, he would kick the ball over the fence and that. And it was, but what a goalie he was.
Right, who's your left back? Yourself?
Well, do you have yourself in the team?
Don't have to, yeah, you don't have to.
Well, I'll not have me in the team then. I'll have a guy, Liam Dick, I played with. He's now at Alloa, I think. He was at Falkirk and he was at Stranraer. He was I played a few games with him, only a few games, because he was a left back, obviously, when I was breaking through. And then he got sold when I was actually playing regular. So I played a few games with him, and obviously training that with him, and he was great shape, great physique, but he great use of the ball. So him for me, although a couple of my pals, one's at Troon, one's at Hurlford, Jack Sherry and Sam Liddington, I played with them, and they're tough, they don't make it, but I have to get this round to Dicko.
Okay, who's your right back then?
I was getting grief for this because I told a few of my pals that I was doing a 1-11. I've not told them. I've not told anybody, any of my players, but I was getting grief for this. So I'm going to put Mikey in there. Obviously, he was at the Buffs last year.
Yeah.
I never played a lot with him, but I'm quite good pals with him now. And he's away back to here. So hopefully, I think he's got good potential. When he first came, he was just, as I say, I think it was his first taste of real football. But I think it did good for him because he started to get wired in that bit, and he can play quite tall and he's really athletic and that. So I wish him all the best if he's watching for this season. Hope he gets to get his chance at here. So
yeah, I think you're right. I think he played really well. He came into the team the first day. I don't think he'd even trained with you boys on that first day of the season.
No.
Came straight in and he did a great game.
Although he get rinsed at Talbot the next. I think that was the Wednesday or something. We drew 0-0, but
that's right.
He was honking.
Welcome to the juniors then.
He better appreciate this because he's knocked Jamie Hamill at the team. So.
Oh really? Right. Okay.
He can stay there.
Fair enough. Right. So who's your centre back pair?
So the first one I went for. Don't know if anybody's called this, but it's going to be my dad. I don't know if anybody really knows. I played with him. I played with him at Dalry.
All right, okay.
Half a season or something. That was when I'd played a season doing the dual contract, and then I went to go back, and I played maybe 5 or 6 months, and then I got called up to the first team, so I wasn't able to obviously go back to Dalry, but I played with him, and even though it was him at the end, he's still somehow playing, but that was meant to be him.
Still somehow playing. He's still at Dalry, is he? He's still at Dalry now.
He's still at Dalry. He wins all the Player of the Years every year, even when I was there, to be fair to him. So he's obviously doing something. No, he's just, if some of the Buffs fans and that maybe remember him, he gives it all, and he's solid. I've always obviously looked up to him as being my dad, watching him play when he was at Cumnock and that when he was younger and maybe a bit faster. But anytime, even now, obviously, when I've seen playing him and that, he's in the air, he's an animal and he gets wired in. But even after that, he's a good guy. So he's my first choice centre half there.
Who's he paired with?
Well, sorry to say, he's no. He was close. He was close.
First sub.
He's up there. He'll maybe make it if we were playing the three at the back. But I'll give it to Andy McDonald, the boy. He's just signed for St Cadoc's actually.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Aye, he's. I played with him at Stranraer as well. He went to Elgin after that, and I think he's good player as well. He's my age. He's left-footed, centre half, tall, tough. He's good, and he's good on the ball. So I think he's a good player, and he'll do really well for St Cadoc's. So he's in my because with the left foot and that, I had to have a left-sided centre half, So that's how Simon can't kick it with his left.
Can his left foot?
No, he's
straight to the park. Simon with his left foot. Is that right?
Aye, so he can sit on the bench for this one.
Well, right. So you said you're the three. Is it three centre mids you're going with across?
Aye, three centre mids.
Right, so
I don't really have a sitter or nothing, but just three centre mids. Who's
the first one then?
Gaz Fleming is the first one in there. I've only played with Gaz this season, but what a player Gaz is, and as I say again, he's near the end of his career, and he's had a good career. Obviously playing with Dumbarton, and he was actually in the Meda team that won a few things a few years ago. So obviously get great talent, and training with him and seeing him in games and that. Even now, it's good player. What on the ball and that he's probably one of the best players I've actually played with. So he's straight and easy.
Second one, mate.
The second one is Scott Agnew.
Yep.
Aggie. Played with him at Stranraer as well, but he's had a great career. I think he's at East Fife now. Obviously played with Ayr and Stranraer and things like that, and he had a wand there left foot. Aggie could play. Great guy and all, but great left foot magician on the ball. I think he scored 50 odd goals or 100 goals, 100 senior goals or something just there, previous to lockdown. So that tells its own story for midfield. So he's a great player, and he's in the team and all easily.
Who's your third then?
So my third here is I had a few to choose from. I played when I was at Stranraer. We loaned a few folk in for bigger clubs who've actually went on and played in the Premier League. And that Cammy McPherson at St Mirren, Ali McCann for St Johnson. There was a boy, Angus Beath, I'll give him a shout. He was only 23 or something. He came to Stranraer. He played midfield and he scored like 8 or 10 goals or something in 10 games from midfield. He went back to Hearts and got a move to Inverness, but he had problems with his hips for years or something, and he's actually had to retire. He was only 22 or 23, so shame for him. But he could play.
So what one makes the team then? What one's the?
But none of them make it.
Oh, none of them. Okay.
I'm gonna be. This is a curveball, but one of my pals, he's called Sean Lavery. If he's watching, he makes an odd. He's I played with him growing up in that. He was in Davy Symes' Kelly team that era.
Right,
okay. But I went to primary and things like that with him, and he's obviously one of my good pals. But I played with him again at Dalry a couple of seasons ago. But when I left and that to go and play with Stranraer and things, he just chucked it. So I'm trying to get him back playing. To be honest, I think he could maybe get into the Buffs reserves and work his way up or something. But no, Sean, good player. So I think he's just a wasted talent, to be honest. If we'd like to come back to playing, that would help everybody. So that's him. He gets his wee shout.
Right. So who's what's your front three made up? Is it wingers and a striker, or is it?
Two wingers and a striker.
Right. Who's the left wing then?
My left wing's a boy, Cammy Elliott. He's at Stranraer as well. I played with him he made it with him at the 20s, and then he obviously broke through as well with me. But he's a good player, Cammy. Lightning quick. He's actually quite strong in that now. Put a bit of beef on, but he's lightning quick, good feet. And as I say, he's only 20 or something, so he's got good potential and to go and show what he can do, I guess. But Cammy Elliott goes in left wing.
And who's the right wing?
Right wing is, I'm going to say, the best player I've ever played with, and it's a guy, Mark Lamont.
Okay.
He was at Stranraer and all, but he played with St Mirren in the Premier League when he was, I don't know, 18 or something, but he got a bad injury. But he ended up coming through the lower leagues, and then he was at East Fife and signed with us at Stranraer. honestly, I don't actually know what he was doing at Stranraer, and I don't know why he wasn't playing higher because any foot, he was rapid, built like an ox. Any foot, like even just wee things at like, training and that, he was always at the wind up. So if you're doing passing and things, he was drilling them at you instead of just touching them, and that was any foot. He could hit you with the ball with any feet. I don't know how he ended up doing there. Probably due to his ankles being struggling. He had a few operations in his ankles, but what a guy he is and all. But he's definitely my right wing, best player I've played with.
And your centre forward then?
My centre forward, Carlo makes the bench for Simon. I think Carlo, maybe because I've not played with him long enough. But Carlo's obviously a good talent in that. But there was a guy, Luke Donnelly, who's now at Arbroath. I played against him at Queen's Park, and then he came and signed for us a season and all at Stranraer. But pre-season and that, I never knew who he was, and he must be about 6'4", right? So I thought he was a centre back or something in pre-season. So running about trying to get the ball off him in the possession box, and he's doing wee tricks and that. So, oh my God! So I obviously getting to know him when he started playing with him and that. Unreal ability as well. He's ball rolls it and all that. I think he was at Celtic when he was like his youth coming through, but what a player he is. So he gets an odd up front, but he was another brilliant player as well. I don't know what he was doing at Stranraer, to be honest.
Sounds like a good team. All right, let's see if we get any more questions in. That's Gouse's 1 to 11. Let's get about 5 more minutes left and see if we get any more questions all on social media. Kelsey Kelly's asking, who's your favourite dog in the world? Must be a loaded question, that surely, innit? That's a
well,
Scooby-Doo.
They just got a dog, obviously. So I think it's Rubble. It's called. So
Rubble, yeah.
I've obviously been pals with Davey, and I've been over and seen it. I'm not great with dogs, to be honest, but this one's kind of teaching me to try and like dogs as much. So,
nice.
Nah, it's a good dog. Just hope it doesn't grow up to be bigger than me. That's about it.
Next question is from Gordon McDonald. He's saying, great news, you're fit and well for the start-up. After lockdown, we need a good holiday. What's your favourite holiday destination and which country would you most like to visit? Good question.
That's a great question, to be fair. Well, we went, what's the date, 15th or something now?
14th.
Well, this Sunday coming, me, Simon, McWaters and Jordan Stewart, 40 years were meant to be going to Ibiza, so that got cancelled. So that's devastating news. So if I could pick anywhere, it would be Ibiza now, because I've never been. I'd been to Magaluf and things like that, and that was brilliant. But I was looking forward to obviously going to Ibiza, but that's off. I'm sure we'll rearrange something somewhere along the line. But
say me stag do.
No, I don't know. But I would like to go to like your New Yorks and that. I've never been to America. That's one thing.
Right.
I would like to go to America, so I'd like to go to like Vegas, New York, and things like that. See how they are. That would probably be my favourite destinations to go.
I could spend an hour talking about Vegas. I've been 3 times in the last 4 years. It's an incredible city. Easily my favourite place in the world.
I've never been, so I could
go. I had a cruise booked for this year. I was meant to be in the Med next week, so that's been cancelled and all. So, but I would go to Vegas in a heartbeat if America sorted their stuff out with the old coronavirus. I'd be there like a shot. But it's one of those. But it's like any countries apart from America you'd like to go to?
I think just like the Dubai and things like that. Just like the ones that are dead advanced and things. Just obviously the sun and that's it. But something I don't know why, but somewhere like Jamaica or something I think would be cool to go to. Just just chilling in the beaches and that. Just I don't know. That is just something that I'd like to. I'd like to go and travel a few places.
Yeah, I'd like Japan. Japan's my one that I'm desperate to go to.
I'm not sure about them. I don't know, but
it's just the food. I love to try all the different types of foods.
So I'm not a fish kind of guy and things like that.
All right, let's see if we get any more questions for Gouser on social media. I don't think we do. It doesn't look like I've covered everything so far. Yeah, it looks like it. We're just coming to the end, so that's been it's been another great live Q&A there with Chris McGowan. Chris, thanks for coming along,
Aye, no bother.
and we'll look forward to seeing you in the park
Aye,
when as soon as we can. Hopefully, it'll not be too long now, and we'll be able to get to see the boys back playing very, very soon. Cheers, Chris.
Right, see you later.
All right, another great Q&A there with Chris McGowan. Got to hear all about his comeback from his injury and his career prior. So that's another good Q&A. We'll have hopefully another person next week. Just trying to arrange some more names to join the Q&As for us next week and the week after. I think we'll probably look to maybe cut this back to maybe like once every fortnight. It's to say as lockdown starts to ease, I think we'll hopefully maybe turn this into something more regular for YouTube kind of going forward once we get back to being able to kind of sit in the same room together and do things like interviews and stuff in the dressing room and stuff. We'll hopefully have a kind of almost like a Buffs TV show maybe every couple of weeks with highlights and kind of fun stuff as well, competitions and things like that. So there's not much more for me to say this week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Stay safe in the lockdown. I guess it's not really lockdown, is it really anymore? It's kind of can we trying to get back to a bit of normality, certainly. There seems to be a bit more chat about football coming back potentially October time. So we're hopeful of that. But until next time, I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.